and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. I wasn't originally gonna do a video on this topic, but very recently, especially in the video I just did talking about the team picking up Dylan Gordon, a lot of people have been asking me, should the Panthers go after a certain free agent wide receiver, even this late in free agency? And we all know about how Coach Rivera and Marty Hurney have been talking about how the Panthers are not done yet in free agency. We also know that the Panthers only have about, like 3 or 4 million in real functional cap space going into 2019. But despite what that figure actually is, if the team wants a player, they can make the moves and the adjustments to find the money to get that player. Now, the guy I'm talking about here is a wide receiver, Michael Crabtree. This should be a name that just about everyone's familiar with. Michael Crabtree is he's a good player. I think I first really started to get into Michael Crabtree when he was back in Texas Tech. He was there around the time where I was actually still a pretty big fan of college football. I was watching like just about every Saturday. And for a while there, Texas Tech was my favorite team just because I just love their offense. I mean, they play offense like a Madden team. They play offense like any one of you guys would be playing Madden, unless you guys punt on 4th down, which I'm judging you hard. But the way they played and the way that Michael Crabtree was used in that offense was crazy. Like, I was a fan from the jump, and he was great in college. Came to the pros, and what's the best way of putting his performance? Kind of disappointing. I think disappointing will be the best way of putting it. His numbers have never been that bad. Like his rookie year, 48 catches, 625 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's not bad. That's not bad. The biggest issue for Michael Crabtree, his whole career honestly, has been drops. Michael Crabtree is a good receiver who is inconsistent. Now, he might be a little bit less inconsistent, I guess more consistent now than he was earlier in his career. I won't pretend that I follow Michael Crabtree a ton. Like, I actually scouted the guy, or I was watching the Ravens' terrible passing offense from last year. Baltimore's offense was not great last year. We know what it was. It was a defensive team that pretty much carried both quarterbacks. Let's call it what it was. The Raiders teams that Michael Crabtree was on the last few years before that, in 2017, 16, and 15, those were decent teams. I can't remember which year was the Derek Carr amazing, like, Superman year. I think that was 2016. And then he got injured, and then the team basically just fell apart after that. Derek Carr had about one good/great year in him. Whether it was 2015 and 2016, it was reflected in Michael Crabtree's stats. I mean, in 2015, he had 922 yards on 85 receptions, 9 touchdowns. 2016, he had 1,003 yards, 89 catches, 8 touchdowns. Highly productive years for him. But that's exactly the issue here. You're looking at a guy here who can put up big numbers, and by the same token, can demand quite a bit of money when he's going to a new team. He's probably looking for a longer-term deal. The Baltimore Ravens cut him after 1 year into a 3-year deal, which might sound crazy at first, but when you really think about it, it might not have been the worst idea in the world, even though the passing offense could use some help. They have some pretty good receivers there, and John Brown, who torched us. He was getting us. John Brown was actually getting us in the game that we played against the Ravens. Willie Snead is good. They picked up Hayden Hurst last year as well in the draft. And I think Hayden Hurst will have a little bit of a growing period, especially with the quarterback he's playing with. But I think Hayden Hurst will be a good tight end in the league in the next few or several years. But still, over the years, Michael Crabtree's been able to put up some pretty solid production with kind of questionable quarterback play. And I'm still taking into account it's not all on the quarterback because, look, he will drop some passes. He will disappear for games at a time. He will flash greatness, and then he will also flash, like, who am I watching right now? Michael Crabtree. I feel like I don't even know this guy right now. That's part of the reason why I don't think that he'd be the perfect fit for the Panthers. But keep it real with you, that's actually lower on my list for the reasons why Michael Crabtree wouldn't work for the Panthers. The bigger reasons are, I mean, I mentioned the money. I mentioned that he has production, which is going to lead him to get more money. But thinking about how our offense is run, it doesn't make any sense. What are the 3 biggest characteristics of our offense? First is Cam. It all starts with the quarterback. No matter who you're playing, no matter how good or bad the offense is, the first thing you have to key in on is the quarterback. What's his play style? What is he good against? What's he weak against? Cam is one of the biggest nightmares for defensive coordinators to actually have to scheme for. There is not a single thing this man can't do. When healthy, when surrounded with weapons, which hopefully this year he will be. The second thing you have to key in on is Christian McCaffrey, with just how versatile he is. He can run to the outside. He can run between the tackles. He can catch passes either from the slot or the backfield. And those screens and those swing routes are getting in his hands are basically extensions of the run game. That's even more that he has to worry about. But the last characteristic of our offense that's really important, the most important here, honestly, is it's a very team-friendly scheme. There's going to be guys who get theirs more often than others. Like Christian got his 100 plus, obviously. If Greg Olsen is healthy for a full 16, he'll probably get around 45, maybe 50 catches. Don't sleep on Ian Thomas. Don't sleep on Curtis Samuel. Don't sleep on Jarius Wright. Don't sleep on any of the guys we have on our team. And I am including Torrey Smith in there. I feel like when I was doing my Torrey Smith topics in my previous videos, I came off as someone who thought that Torrey Smith wasn't good. That's not the case. That is not the case. Torrey Smith is actually a good receiver, and he could have a pretty strong impact on the team, a pretty solid impact, I'll say, on the team and the passing game and whatnot this season if he's healthy. My biggest problem with Torrey Smith was that $5 million. Now, I know they're probably not going to disclose what the money is going to really look like for a while now, but my only issue with Torrey Smith coming back this year was the $5 million cap hit. And none of that's guaranteed, but that's not really the point right here. I'm saying Torrey Smith because I really do believe that even though their numbers don't really add up, I think Torrey Smith might still be a better option for the team than Michael Crabtree. I think we do need an ex-receiver, but I don't think we need a guy who, for the last 5 years straight, has gotten over 100 targets. I don't think we need another guy who's going to eat up a ton of targets. I mean, 2018, 100, 2017, 101, 2016, 145, 146, and then 108. Every single year of Michael Crabtree's career, other than his rookie season and the season I think he got hurt in 2013, where he only played 5 games, he's gotten over 100 targets. I'm not really sure that's the guy we need on our team, especially like I said before, with our team and our scheme being a more like a sharing kind of offense. Cam's not tunnel vision anymore on the deep threat. He's just looking for anyone who's open. If it's Christian, that's cool. If it's Jarius on third down, that's cool. Could be Curtis, could be DJ, it could be our tight ends, it could be anyone really. I don't think the team needs a guy who's probably expecting to get about 100 targets and he's looking at mid to maybe high 50 percentile in catch rate. That's not really what we're looking for, especially at what his price tag will probably be. Keep in mind he got paid $8 million for just last year alone. He got paid over $20 million with his 3 years with the Raiders. He's looking for a bag. I don't think he's going to be looking at the Panthers, especially with him being 31. He knows that this next contract might just be his last chance to get a really big paycheck. And just from no angle of this proposal looks good. From the Panthers to his side to our future plans moving forward, I think we're looking to build a stable of young guys on both offense and defense right now. It's kind of like a power rebuild period right now where we could win, but we're still, getting rid of some of the older guys and still teaching some of the younger guys coming up. So I don't see him fitting well with us, especially considering, we can probably get a rookie in the 3rd, maybe 4th round. And, he can probably come in, get 400, 500 yards, 3-4 touchdowns, and if the weapons we already have in place for Cam can, 1, stay healthy, and 2, have about the same, or maybe, hopefully, even better stats this year coming up than they had this past year, we should be straight with, getting a guy that's not a full-fledged number 1, not really necessarily a household name, but still, Michael Crabtree is a big name. There's no denying it, and he does put up big numbers. I'm not sure that's exactly what the scheme and the team needs right now. It'd be cool to have him, but at the price range and looking at what we're looking to do in the future, picking up a 31-year-old receiver probably wouldn't be the best bet. Look, I like Crabtree a lot, but there's just no angle that I can look at this and say it's a smart deal, it will go down, or even might possibly go down. Receiver isn't really the biggest need for the team right now, so I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. But you guys let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think it'll actually happen? How likely is it to happen? Does the team actually really need Michael Crabtree? Or is he just another big name guy in free agency and you want to see a guy with a name on your favorite team. Is that what's going on here? Is there any other free agent wide receiver you think we should pick up, or you want one of the team? And who's your most attractive wide receiver prospect in the draft this season outside of the first round? Let me know in the comments below. You already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend, real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.